everyone, it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this impressive doily. It's got this beautiful sort of spiral pattern to it, and I really love it. So if I just hold that up, you can see how that spiral pattern works. It's nowhere near as difficult as you think it looks. It's very easy, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I just wanted to show you a close-up here just to show you that this basically is made out of chains and double crochet. There's a couple of trebles up here. Remember, I'm British, so I use British terminology, so I know that as a double crochet. You may know that as a single, and this is a treble to me, but it may be a double crochet to you. If you're not familiar with the different names for crochet stitches, I've put a video link down below showing you how where I discuss talking about the different names, and basically they're the same stitch, but they all have slightly different names depending where you come from. So I really like this doily. I think it looks fantastic. It's a different shape to what I normally show you how to do, and looks unusual, I think, and will make a great centerpiece. I've made this in a cotton, and obviously I've had to block it to get the shape and effect of this spiral. And I'm going to be showing you how to make it in this sort of chunky yarn, just so that you can see clearly what I'm doing. So I'm going to get on and show you how to do this. So like I said, I'm going to be using some double knit yarn and my trusty 4mm hook, just so that you can see exactly what we're doing. So I'm going to start off with 5 chains. So I know that's quite different to what I normally do, but yes, that's what we're going to do. 5 chains, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain there just to make that a loop, and that's what I'm going to work the rest of my stitches into. So there we go. Get rid of that tail over there. There's our little loop to work into. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're just going to do a double crochet into the loop, like so. And then we're going to repeat that 4 more times. 5, 6. And a double crochet into that center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a double crochet into the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll double crochet. And I'm just going to move those around just a little bit so I've got a bit more room. And I'm going to do one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the double crochet into the center there. I'll just take my hook out. You can see we've got this sort of daisy shape here with 5 loops. Right, so for the next round, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 6 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do 3 chains into that 6 chain space from the previous round. So I say 3 chains, I meant 3 double crochets, sorry. So 3 double crochets into that 6 chain space. Sorry about that. And then that gives us our next petal along. And then we're going to repeat that 4 more times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets into the 6 chain space next to it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a little bit of a knot there. And 3 chains, again 3 double crochets, sorry, again into that 6 chain space, and then just 2 more times we're going to do that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 double crochets. I said it right that time. and then we can just see I just need to do that one more time here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 3 double crochets into that 6 chain space. Okay, so before we go any further, what I've decided to do is I'm going to add one of my stitch markers to the beginning round, because basically it gets a little bit confusing if you don't know where you started from, and then it will just make it a bit easier to see where you start. So we start from here and this is where you finish. So I've just put my stitch marker on there, my very cute little stitch marker given to me by a nice friend, and I'll put a link down below where you might be able to find these. I think they're cute. Okay. So what we're going to do now is basically the same thing, but we're going to add a few more stitches. Okay, so we're going to chain 6 again, and then into that 6 chain space there we're going to do the 3 double crochets, and now we've got 2 double crochets here to work into. That we did 3 double crochets, but at the top of the 3rd one we started another chain. So if you disregard that end one and just remember you just need to work into the remaining double crochets. So now what we've got is 5 double crochets. So we've done 6 chains, 3 double crochets, and then 2 more into the top of the 3 double crochets from the previous round. And then you're just going to repeat that again. 6 chains, I think that was 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. 3 double crochets into the 6 chain space, and then 1 double crochet into the remaining 2 double crochets that you've already done from the previous round. So that gives you 5 double crochets. So what I do is I count the 6 chains, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I count the 5 double crochets that I need to do. So the first 3 into the space, and then the last 2 into the top of previous double crochets. Right, again. Okay, so we're going to do our last one now where we started from. So that's 6 chains, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 5 double crochets, 3 being in the 6 chain space. So each round is going to progress in a similar way. We're going to increase the number of double crochets we do, but we're always going to do 6 chains and always have the first 3 double crochets into that 6 chain space. So 6 chains again, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do the first 3 double crochets into the chain space. That's 1, 2, 3, and now this time we have more double crochets to work into, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 to work into. So each number of double crochets per round is going to increase by 2. So we started off with 3, we've just done a round where we had 5 double crochets to work, and now we've got a round of 7. So they're going to be an an odd number. Sorry, I was going to say uneven, but yeah, it's the same thing. But so 6 chains, 3 double crochets into the 6 chains from the previous round, and then in the number of double crochets you have left, not working that last one, which is the beginning of your 6 chains. Sounds a bit complicated, I know. I'm probably making it more complicated than it needs to be, but that is essentially how you work. And having this stitch marker here means you know where to start the next round of counting. There's a lot of counting, most crochet is, but that's that's how you get this spiral effect. If I just bring in the doily that I finished, you can see that we started off with 3 double crochets, and then it increased to 5, and we got 7, etc. So it's 11, 13, and so on. So that's how it increases, and that's how you get this spiral effect. So that's the first 3 chains are always into that 6 chain space, and then you just go along with the rest of the double crochets that you have left, but not including this one that is the beginning of your 6 chains. Excuse me. So back to our work. So I've just done one there, that is 7 double crochets, and I need to keep going around until I get back to here, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so that is doing a round. That was my that's my first round. This is my second round, third round, and fourth round. I'll just put that at the back there, you can see that a bit better. So, like I said, we started off with 3 double crochets into that first 6 chain space, and then into the next 6 chain space we did 3 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet into the remaining double crochets left, which gave us 5. And in the next row we did the same thing, but this time we had 4 left, so that gave us 3 plus 4, 7 double crochets. So the next round there will be 9 to work into, because it increases by 2, and then it'll be 11 and 13. So what you need to do is you need to keep going until you have, so doing the same thing until you've done 13 double crochets here. So you've done a whole round where you've got 13 double crochets. That's where I'm going to come back and show you what to do next. Okay, so I've got to that stage now where I have 13 double crochets across the top there. So you can just see how that is increased with each round and giving us that spiral effect. Now it's quite nice as it is. You could block that now if you wanted to. I still think that looks quite nice as it is, very unusual. But we're going to carry on and finish it off into, oops, dropping everything, into its main shape. And what we're going to start doing now is working these parts here. Okay, still going to be continuing with the spiral shape, but now we're going to start decreasing it to bring it up into this point. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to do a double crochet into that 6 chain space, and then I'm going to do another 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip that first double crochet there, that first one there that is worked into that 6 chain space. I'm going to skip that first one and then just work a double crochet into the top of the rest of them. So not that one, but that one. And they're going to keep going all the way to the edge, and because we're not working one into that first one, that last one, sorry, and the first one, what we'll have now is 11 double crochets to work. So now we're going to start decreasing the number of double crochets to do. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, she said, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one more, 11. And what we've got there is we've got a double loops there and only 11 double crochets, which will start to bring it in. And again, we're going to repeat that all the way around until we get back to here. So once more, that's 5 chains, not 6 this time, but 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A double crochet into that 6 chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip that first double crochet on there and we're going to work into the rest of them, which should be 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get some more yarn. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got these 2 double loops there now and only 11 double crochets, and I'm going to come back when I get round to here. Okay, so now I've got round to the beginning again of my rounds and I know that because in this instance because it's the first time we've done this double loop, also because I've got the stitch marker, it does help a lot. You do feel like, am I ever going to get to the end? Have I got to the end? When do I start again? But just putting one little thing in just really helps. It doesn't have to be, it could just be a little bit of thread that you tie on, but you know, it does help a lot. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do 5 chains, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that first 5 chain space. We're going to repeat the 5 chains, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do a double crochet into that 5 chain space there. And then this time we're going to do 5 chains again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip again that first double crochet, work a double crochet into the rest of the stitches, and this time that should give us 9 stitches. So hopefully I've got that right, and we'll count them together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one more, 9. Phew! Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 loops there now as opposed to the 2 that we had, and we did 1 less double crochet along here, and that gave us 9 stitches because we don't work into that one that we start off the 5 or 6 chains with. So that's 9. So we're going to repeat that again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to aim to get a loop made here, here, and then into the work here. So that's a double crochet into that 5 chain space from the previous round, 5 more chains, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the double crochet into that 5 chain space again, and then one more time, 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skipping that first double crochet and working 1 into the rest, which should be 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if I just put that down, we can have a quick look. Excuse me. So we can see the 3 loops there, and we can start to see now that this spiral shape is starting to get narrower, which is what we wanted it to do. And I'm going to come back when I get round to here. Okay, so now we've got all of our edges with 3 loops on them. And what we're going to do now is basically you just need to keep repeating that until until each one of these is reduced down to 1 stitch. So keep going until, let me show you, until you only have 1 stitch left at the top there, which is what we're going to work the outer edging stitch into. So you can see that you've got all these loops here, and by the time you get to that stage you should have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on the edge. Okay, so I'm going to come back when I've got to that stage. Okay, so I've gone all the way around now until I have been left with just 1 double crochet to work into. If you just have a look in the middle there, there's only 1 double crochet to work into. So that's the 5 chains, 1 skipping 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet and 1 double crochet into the previous round, and each one of those points has the same. There's actually 3 double crochets but only 1 I can work into. So that's the point where we start now to need to do the edging. You could just leave it like that if you wanted to. You could just go around the edge with a finishing edge, just doing a double crochet. Get that to focus. You could just do that all the way around if you wanted to. If you wanted to leave it in that sort of daisy shape, which is actually very pretty. But I've actually finished this one off, making it into sort of like a pentagram. And what you're going to do now is, I wonder if I can find my, no, not going to be able to find it. I'm not going to know where I started. I didn't, because I've sewn in the edges now. Anyway, we're going to do just 3 chains around the edge, and doing a double crochet into the middle of each of the 5 chains until we get to that point of our spiral. Or I'm just going to do a double, sorry, not a double, a treble. So you might know it's a double, but I know it's a treble. So confusing, isn't it? Anyway, where am I? Okay, so carry on this round. So I'm going to finish off this by doing 5 chains. Oh God, I'm tongue tied now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm just going to do a double into that next 5 chain space, and I'm just, because then that evens off that edge there, that brings that up the same then. And then we're going to just do 3 chains and a double into the next chain space, and we're going to do that all the way around. So it's 3 chains and a double, 1, 2, 3, and a double. So we're finishing off that edge, and keep going round. 1, 2, 3, a double, 1, 2, 3, and a double. And then, like I say, when you get to your point here, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to just do a treble into the top of that last 1 stitch there, and then 3 chains, and then continue with the double into each of the 5 chain spaces. Oops. 1, 2, 3, like that. So you can see that it naturally makes its edge like that. So I need to come back round to here. So that's made that nice edge there, and that's what I'm going to do now. Just keep going all the way around. Now do our final point, because we've already done the others, and we know, because we've got the stitch marker here, that this is our last where we started from basically. So 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, the treble into that middle stitch there, and I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3 more chains, and I'm going to slip stitch that into that double that I did from the last round. If I just take the hook out, you can see it's got that sort of straighter edge at the moment. We just need to do 1 more round just to finish this off, but it's still looking pretty good, I think. And all I did to, sorry about the loud bang, all I did to finish this off was I did I did 4 double crochets into each of the 3 chain spaces, but at the corners, you can see there's a corner, I did 3, if I can get that to focus, I did 3 double crochets, a chain, and then 3 double crochets into the 3 chain space. So how to tell where the corners are from the posts. If you're going by the posts, you've got the point here, so you've got 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one will be a corner, and then 1, 2, 3 to the post, 1, 2, 3, the 4th one is a corner, 1, 2, 3 to the post, 1, 2, 3 is a corner. Okay, so let me just show you. So I've done my slip stitch there, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that 3 chain space. Oh, didn't see that, did you? I'll just do that again. Just going to slip stitch into that 3 chain space, and then I can do my 4 double crochets. So the first one will be a chain, and then 1, 2, 3, just move those up a bit, 4, and then 4 into the next 3 chain space, 3, 4. So like I said, there was from the post, there's 1 space there that we haven't worked yet, 2, 3, and then the 4th one will be a corner, and it's following up from that line. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, a chain, and then 3 more double crochets into that same 3 chain space. Okay, and then I'm just going to do 4 double crochets again into each of the 3 chain spaces. So from that corner there, 1, 2, 3 to the post, and then from that post, well, the post is being the treble, so that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, excuse me, that was my stomach rumbling. And then we're going to do the same with the double crochets. With 4 into each of those, and again 4 into this one. Sorry about that, my camera cut out. Yeah, so carrying with the 4 into the 3 chain spaces. That's 1, 2, 3, and then into that 4th one along, it's going to become a corner. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, a chain, and 3 double crochets again. You can see now the edges are starting to take a more defined shape. So I'm going to do that all the way around, the same, and then come back when I finished it off basically. Okay, so there we go. I've been all the way around now doing just that edge, and I've just finished that off very simply. If you wanted to add a different edging to that, obviously that would be entirely up to you. Obviously this needs to be blocked. It's not going to keep its shape. This isn't the best yarn to use when making these sort of things. The cotton obviously is better, but I just wanted you to be able to see what I was doing. But yeah, so this is the one I've made in cotton, and this one was blocked and pressed, and much nicer. You can definitely see the pattern now much better than you can on this one. If you block this one, it will take on a much better shape, and you'll see all this detail much more clearly, but I still don't think it's too bad considering. Yep, this little stitch marker will help a great deal, especially when it's a repetitive pattern like this. It's easy to get a little bit lost, but apart from the amount of counting, I still think this is a great a great pattern to work. It's very different, unusual, and I just love it. I'm going to put this one back in because that one's bothering me because it's all wonky. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm sorry it was a long one, but there was a lot of explaining to do. If I can straighten that up for me. There you go, that's a bit better, isn't it? There was a lot of explaining to do, so take each row step by step. Because it's so repetitive, it isn't actually that difficult to do. It's just sort of remembering how many stitches you're supposed to be doing on each, for each round. And that, like I said, that stitch marker helps loads, because then you know where you've got back to the beginning again. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have fun with this. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. If you haven't subscribed, why not subscribe? I would love you to. And I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.